go for the show. Okay. So this is the show. So as you heard earlier, last July, I went into the hospital, emergency room in the middle of the night. Basically, my sugars were 495, and this is the start of it. And it was Holy Cross. So I will give them credit here. So the first time they sent me home with a sugar level with just saline, the doctor was there for less than 10 minutes total and just checked my lab results and say, we're going to put you on saline. I never saw him again. He never checked to see that my stomach was severely extended, that I had constipation. I'll just use the polite words for all these things, and that my urine wasn't the healthiest coming out. So he didn't do a urine test. Went home immediately. 4 hours later, I was right back where I was to start with. Asked ChatGPT, by the way, and it said take an X-Lax. I did, and I was good for a week after that. So that's my first thing. Then this last week, Tuesday night, I guess, I went into urgent care because my roommate said, "Hey, you're going away on Saturday." I was speaking, and I was going to try to go to my speaking engagement, speaking to the YMCA and 200 students. So literally, they escalated it up to the emergency room immediately, and then to 2 days of around the clock, coming in every 5 minutes, putting blood work and stuff like that. So I had 27 touch points. So this is my plan. I'm going to offer to Holy Cross to come in there and go to every touch point, meet with everybody that I said, and through my empathetic design, give them a patient-centered design that it's actionable. Here's one of my first renderings as to give you the idea. So they sent me home with 3 pill bottles. It's all in Greek to me because it was the technical name that they use it. There was nothing on there that says, this is for your infection. Take it in morning and dinner for 7 days, twice a day. And then there's mood support, which was to help my mood along, right? Take it every morning. And better flow for my pee to get out. Because what happened is the urine was coming out with a ton of sugar in it, which is a landmine of wonderful stuff for all the viruses that can attack your body. And they grow in this culture of this. And that's been the case. I've been on that particular drug. I think it's valsaltrin, but I don't want to quote me on that. But it's a drug. So they took me off that one. So I'll never have this problem again. So what happened in July is the exact same thing that happened today. Monjuro combined with sugar coming out causes infection. Sepsis is when it comes from just on your male external organ, you get yeast infections and things like that. But then it went into the body, into my prostate, enlarging it, then into my entire ecosystem. And that's what caused the crash in 495. So I was only at 450 this time going in, and having learned what I learned last time, I talked to every single person. I said, I'm on a mission to fix what you didn't do last time. And I'm telling you, they are angels. They saved my life. But what they didn't do is what I want to offer my body to science and to them at Holy Cross, which is around the world, so that they can think about simple things. And I'm going to tell you what those simple things are so you get an idea. So this is the 3 drugs I was sent home with. I had no idea. So I just went into ChatGPT and created this. In fact, it created this entire image with the text that you see there. So what does every human being on their deathbed ask for more of? Answer, time and love. And so what I want to do, because Holy Cross is a place where you don't die and they extend your life. They give you more time. Literally, they are time makers. And what do? They do it with loving care. There was not a person that was rude to me ever. And when I offered my suggestions to things to make it better, they received it with beautiful grace. Now, I want to have every human being on earth have that patient 0, which I would suggest my first experience with the hospital system was a 0. And my idea is to fix the communications. So if he came into me and he said, in fact, I didn't find out till today when I got my new primary care physician, and that wasn't even suggested. I was going 4 times a year to the same guy for 10 years. All he did is up my dose of my prescription drugs. Guess what? It's one of those that killed me the first time, or would have if Kat had not been there. I literally was so delirious. I had to go. I mean, she had to pick me up to get me there. And saline didn't fix the problem. So that's a 0. So my idea is to go through each touch point. So here you see on the left, this is patient 0. I had to take out my own information, but this is all I had. And what it said on there originally was the name of it. So that this is actually only, so you actually had information there, but I don't know what Flonase is or whatever it was they were giving me. And so I actually took tape and put over it. And I started this, and then I showed it to AI. I showed them this, and it made this image. So this is what I want to do the whole system. This could be as simple as, if you have an inability of cognition, dementia, if you have an inability of reading small type, I do, then what I need to know is, what does this pill do and how often do I take it? That's the answer. And what could be underneath this is, you put on that label at the pharmacy, and then at the pharmacy, you put this little flap that you could peel off. So if you want to see what the drug is and how many refills you've got, you perfectly are ready to go. Okay, so you've got 2 layers of information. That's a simple fix. It's a piece of paper and some adhesive. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go from where I came in the front door at urgent care, where the emergency room, urgent care, first handoff, ER crisis triage. So they figured out at the urgent care, they could only do x-rays and urine sample. That's where they found I was in ketosis, where the amount of ketones given off were crashing my whole body system, right? That's caused by type 2 diabetes with the sugars not being regulated, as I understand it. And again, I'm not a doctor, but I am a patient, and what I don't know will kill me. So in the emergency room, they did the CAT scan, which they could not do in urgent care. They didn't have one of those. So they're looking for blockages. So stuff's not coming out, so they're looking for blockages. They did that in 2 different ways. And then the hospital stay is 48 hours of observation. And if you ever go to a hospital, here's a clue for you. Make sure they put you in there under 48-hour observation. It's 1/10 the cost if you're put in there as a patient. In fact, the way I found that out is, in the end, this guy comes in, he says, just sign here. I said, what am I signing? This is so that that you're paying for your stay here. And I said, how much am I going to owe? And he says, oh, a lot less, because I coded it as an observation in the hospital rather than you being a patient. Literally, that'll save you $10,000 next time you go in, just letting you know. And they were doing it, but not informing me. So I've been to the ER before, and I not only paid $300 the first time, they sent me a bill for $300 after that, which is more than what they should have charged for basically 6 hours of their work and 15 minutes with a doctor who didn't fix me. And I had to fix myself. So this is for the rest of my life, this is my main mission. I am patient 0, the patient's view. And that's what I'm offering to them. And then discharge instructions, which is 24 pages. I got it down to 1 with visuals, just like you saw the rest of it. And then home recovery bridge. How do you check up on me? So here's the worst, most egregious thing. I think I have it here. So this is what I did when I got back off the emergency room. I went home and I stacked everything up. And you can see my doctor there that gave me all those pills. And my name is redacted for obvious reasons. This is what I was taking. So there's my supplements. I did this, and it made a chart. And the chart looks like this. And that's literally my chart. I took off the patient records there, kind of stuff. But for type 2 diabetes. So that's what I was taking. And one of these, I believe it's valsaltrin, was the one that was killing me. Yeah, triglycerides. So it tells me the purpose, right? Why isn't this something that's a GPT? You take a picture, you upload it to Holy Cross's system, and you get this, and then you go to the doctor, right? Add to that. And so you can do this right now, and I suggest you do. I gave this to my doctor when I got out of the emergency room. He was like, holy shit, I don't have to ask you any questions about that. And I asked of the supplements I'm taking, which my daughter had given me like 10 for old people, right? Well, so I photographed all of them. He says, don't take 7 of these, only take these 1. Biotin, potassium citrate gummies. And then it tells you electrolyte support, muscle cramps, only take it when necessary, right? Because what I was doing is I was taking D3, for example, and all the supplements had extra D3. It would have overdosed me and caused more problems than I knew. So use AI for the most powerful thing to advocate for your health. This is step 1. I recommend everybody do this right now. No doubt. Then I got out of the diabetes endocrine care. Here's my chemistry, my lab work, right? So it does do the thing where it says your glucose level was here, a little bit high, quite a bit high, actually 147, 187, 85. And then the A1C is the other one that I always look for, and I don't see it on this thing. I just literally photographed 4 pages, and it gave me this. Summary of today's medical visit, why I'm there. Medication adjustment, Mounjaro, reduce it from 25 milligrams to 12.5 to manage, blah, blah. Cause of side effects, likely rapid dose increases, blah, blah, blah. So I had 2 months where I couldn't get it from Publix because everybody's trying to lose weight using it. It's meant for diabetics, folks. Don't buy stuff that's not meant for your body because it also will kill you. Reduce your sugar levels so you'll go into low sugar problems. And then the idea. So this is what I handed the doctor, or I had for myself when I came home from that little visit. And then it made up a checklist of things that I might want to get to support my health coming back because I was dehydrated. And then I have domain health, so mental health and anxiety. And here's what I can do, a psychiatric consultant. So that I am now on what I was on before, which used to be called Wellbutrin, which basically evens out so I don't have high anxiety and I'm able to sleep better and I'm not angry at people. And already, since I've been taking it just 4 days, I am tons better. You could ask my roommate. Bonus, you get a daily symbiotic garden of life probiotic, blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, if you have a lot of impacted constipation, do not take a probiotic. What does it do? Or fiber, any fiber. Don't put any fiber down there. What does fiber do? It expands in your stomach like a giant puffball. So if you put that in your stomach and you're already impacted, guess what? So I was actually taking to soften the stool and let it go through. So if you're just in a regular day, it's okay to take that because it flushes out your system, rebuilds your gut biome. But if you're not in the position to be doing that, which is if you're impacted with constipation, I know I'm being very open and honest. I want my lessons to lead to someone else surviving. Full stop. So if I can teach you how to use AI, and I think this is the most powerful way you could ever do it. So this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, along with all my other missions, right? So then I said, what are 3 foods? So so I told it what I like to eat. I said, chicken and broccoli is cool. Try cauliflower rice. Tried that's great. A steak, a sauteed spinach, a mushroom, a Greek yogurt, walnuts, or protein bar. So what to take all day. And then that's what's in my refrigerator. And then here's my private health things. So I was worried about hair loss, and I tried all the other things. And, I'm okay. I still got hair up there. So I'm not in that position. I'm not quite Brandon yet, but, but more power. You know what they say about men with no hair. I'll let you finish that joke. So vitamin 3, high dose, they're going to probably take me down off of that because I don't have the problem that basically works for you. So why am I this guy to do this? This is my master's thesis, this was an entire museum. Those posters you see there at the bottom, that was 60 foot long and floor to ceiling. And then the wall posters. And this was the card called Sugar Coated. It's the empathetic design to take over for what the world did to us. So if you didn't know this, 13% sugar of type 2 diabetics for World War II. After World War II had to get food across the ocean to keep it fresh. What they put in? A lot of salt and a lot of sugar. Both of those are preservatives. So you can get your white bread, you can fill it full of sugar, and you can ship it for 3 months overseas, and it's going to get there fresh enough to eat. Then doing that, McDonald's said, let's put it in there because people love it, dopamine, serotonin, and they created the largest diabetic coma in American history. And there were commercials, and I'm not making this up, by the same doctors that appeared before Congress. Sugar is good for you. So that commercial of the baby drinking Coca-Cola was saying, actually in the Coca-Cola ad in 1950s, give your kid sugar. What did my mom give me? She gave me, for a short period of time until we figured out it rotted your teeth, sugar water. So if you have your kids drinking sugar water instead of milk, which is perfectly born to do that, or breast milk, which is even better, And then that's what killed us there. Then you advertise about it in where? In low-income housing areas. You put the billboards up in extraordinary amounts, and you all seen the Morgan Spurlock Super Size Me. If you haven't, go watch it. That'll shock you. So there I was in 1915. So type 2 diabetes, third leading cause of death in America. That's me. It has comorbidities, which you can lose your eyesight. You have to cut off your feet, et cetera, et cetera. You know all the things. Go blind because too much sugar in your system basically clogs up all of your flow of all your energy and everything. So if you don't get it properly out, that means my pancreas can't process it, turn it into energy, so my body's broke. Now, what they have solved already in 10 patients so far, type 1 and type 2 diabetes, they fixed the pancreas through stem cell reconstitution. So you have a working pancreas, eliminating type 1 and type 2 diabetes, saving millions of lives every year. 29 million people in the United States have type 2 diabetes, and 18 million don't even know they have it. Now, you see in the bottom there, that's me at age 21 in a picture, and that was me at the time when I took this class in 2015. I was 270 pounds, as you can well see. This was full size, 5.9 inches tall, both of these printed in front of the exhibit. And as you walked in, and this was on glass, and what it said, it's a sin, the condition we're in. 1 in 3 Americans are obese, mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters. A smoker, a drinker, an addict. Sugar is worse. It's legal. You can buy it for pennies on every grocery shelf. It's subsidized by the government. It's pushed on the kids. It's more addictive than cocaine. These are all facts. It's the second leading cause of preventable death behind cigarettes, which might be misleading, cause obesity, diabetes, heart disease, stroke are all related. That means that if you add it up, heart conditions, these are called comorbidities, it may be on your death certificate, it may say heart disease, but it was certainly caused by diabetes and being overweight, compounding factors, right? 30% of kids are obese, don't exercise, tripled, and actually it's up to 40% now today in America only. Everybody else has got it right. They got healthy kids all over the planet. Take a look in Japan, take a look in Sweden, the rest of the places. These people are most attractive human beings on the earth, and they are not obese because they said it just has too much sugar. It's not recommended, right? So they're making it a thing. And even those are democratic countries, and they have free health care. Number one cause of debt in America is health care. So if I didn't have insurance and I went in there, I'd be walking out with a $30,000 bill. I'd have to sell my car or whatever, depending on, I've got enough money, thank God, that I do have insurance too. That's my worst worry, is even when I get old, they don't pay for everything. And they don't tell you that you're on a fixed income at that point. So I'm never quitting because I can't afford to in America unless I moved somewhere else. So I've become a citizen. Corporations want to supersize you and make lots of dough. Think of all you can't control. Sugar in excess is out of control, and stop being a part of making it worse. And stand up and say, you know, and you understand this curse. You may not be fat or bloated, but you know we are all sugar coated. So that I turned into a song. I don't have the song here right now. I couldn't find it. This is the, so I got so I was literally going to make a black cloth and put sugar in these formations. But then I found a Photoshop filter that you put in what basically you put in the picture. So I gave a black and white vector of the sugar skull and the figure and everything, made this up, and then went to Photoshop and then rendered it looking like sugar. So this was 4 foot tall, this section, and this is the other part of it, causes of strokes, $330 per month for treatment. So while I'm paying close to $100 for all my pills, Monjuro and everything included, thank God I have insurance, they are paying, I think right now, it's around $1,000 for all the drugs that I get every month. You wonder why your insurance companies are going up in cost? Because they've got to pay that bill, and I'm only seeing $100 of it, right? They're paying a couple thousand. So multiply that by all the people in America,
In
and you
every
see
job
why it
that
doesn't
must be
work.
done, there
So as you walk into the exhibit, everybody is projected my face on them, making them sugar coated as they entered. So you could see it on your body. It was projected right on their bodies as they walked into the exhibit. And then they went around. There was a dining room table in the center that had a cloth on it that had in Braille, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down all around the outside edge. And each plate had a fact about type 2 diabetes. And you were invited to sit down and think about it. And then you had a card where you could write about things, where times where you knew this was a problem. And the bin was full. Then I have a giant 50-gallon drum, a white one from Home Depot, the kind you put your trash into. And I turned it into a giant McDonald's sugar drink. With the straw was a piece of PVC pipe, 3 inches around, that I put a stripe on to make it look like a straw. And I filled it with 100 pounds of sugar, which is the average consumption for Americans each year. All right, so let me get into the answers. All right, so what I'm doing now is I'm imagining a world where every loving angel's gift, that is Holy Cross for sure, every patient is seen, and more time and more money and more love for everybody. So patient zero to patient hero begins at Holy Cross, as I will donate and I will meet every person, all 27 of them, including, and I'm going to insist on this, the lady who cleaned up my urine on the floor and the person next to me, because I want to meet them and hug them and thank them for what they did. I had a conversation with her, and I looked up every person's name as to what the origin was. And there was a woman named Naomi, Naomi, which was a weird spelling of Naomi. This is from the Bible reference. And I looked it up, and she didn't know. I said, that's a beautiful name. Where did you get it from? And she, it's Naomi, but my mom had a twist. Ended up looking it up, and guess what it was? It was a Creole, a Haitian language, taking a Naomi and adding to it. The meaning of the new word was loving grace and patience. And when she came back in, I looked at my phone and I said, now I know why you're here. Now I know why I was meant to meet you, because I see an angel before me that already has saved my life. And she did. And I had a conversation about my plans, and that's where it birthed this. So, Naomi, if you're hearing me now, I want to meet with you, and I want to get a picture with everybody that saved my life. And I want to turn this around so every person is seen and heard, and there's not a block in just a simple conversation. I literally, we'll talk about this later, I had a nutritionist coming in training, and behind her was the person training her. And she handed me 7 pages of paper, I swear this is true, that was basically said, eat better, get exercise, and sleep, in 7 pages with text, no images, maybe 1 or 2 images. And then she came to me and she says, this is what you need to do when you go home. Okay, let me reverse that. So I said to her right in front of her boss, I said, what if you came in here and said, I'm an expert on nutrition. How can I help you on your journey? And what questions do you have for me? So that's precisely what I'm going to do to all 27 people. I'm going to say what they did right, and I've said what they did better. They can do better. And then I want them to have 20 patient incomes and outgoes and look and fix the system. I'm going to show you a little bit later that I went in today for my primary care. They had me 17 pages front and back. And at the bottom of each page, I had to write my name, date it, and sign it. Give me an iPad. And I click, and I'm through. And I signed it once with a pen. That's so simple. And it took me literally 20 minutes after I'd seen the patient. Now imagine that you're in the emergency room and you're being asked these questions. What if that all, and I've got a solution for that, by the way. So I'm asking patient zero to patient hero begins at Holy Cross. That's why this is in both corners. This is their actual legal indicator. So this is my big solution. Now, what I'm about to show you was last semester. It was made, and why this is going to take a full hour. Yeah, I'm good on time. Okay. These are all the students in my branding class. This is the logo we came up for this device I'm about to show you. I want to represent them as these are the people that work with me at my direction to create LifeForce One. What is it? LifeForce 1, live it. This is the campaign. We have a Super Bowl commercial I'm going to show you in a minute. So live it, lowercase I. And then the mission is to extend human health span by unifying the fragmented health universe into one intuitive interface. We aggregate every heartbeat, lab result, and meal to transform passive patients into proactive architects of their own longevity. That's it. I'm going to have that trademarked this week. And this is the device idea. The idea is that every one of your hospital visits go onto a device at home. Maybe it sits resident on your Google device, but it's a separate hard drive that is a large language model specially trained for this use case to give you offerings for nutrition, giving you a note to give to your doctor that has everything in it, and then give you an exercise plan and a mindfulness plan. So it's giving you plans. It's not going to take the place of the doctor, but it's going to be you at the center, the CEO of your life plan. And this is what we have on the left. My doctor, who just retired, and thank God, because I never need to go back to him again. I had to get a new primary because last month when I called today to go see this endocrinologist, because I was going 4 times a year doing blood work. So I figured, why do I even need a primary? If I'm seeing him 4 times a year and he's doing blood work and I'm cool, why do I need a primary anymore? So I ended up back at the same place where I was, and my primary in the same building was there and saw me. She didn't have any room on her schedule because it had been 5 years since I'd seen her last. So I went to another person who was just as fantastic, Dr. Pram, by the way. And I want to say thank you, because you also explained to me everything that's going on. So I have absolute confidence when I go Saturday to the California that I am positive I'm going to come back alive. Thank God I wasn't going out of the country. But so what we're doing is say, disconnected apps, let's take everything you got. So here's the plan. Now, this is something you need to know. In 1950, it took 50 years to get to the knowledge we got in 1980. It took 7 years to get the next one, which is 2010. It took 3.5 years to get to 2025. Now we're doing in 50 years, and we're doing in 73 days, 50 years of advancement of all science. And I'm sure by now, because this is last year, that with everything I've just talked about today in the news, we're down to like 5 days and it's curing every disease going forward. And if that doesn't blow your mind, if that doesn't make you root for those centers to be in your yard that do the inferencing or whatever, get one of those devices, get your own solar panels, make your own thing. So instead of fighting them, and most of them are doing the right thing, you should still fight in your neighborhood, that they pay taxes, all your taxes. If you have a data center, an AI compute center near you, and if it's on a place where it's not ruining anything of your environment, taking up too much water, insist first that they make you whole as far as water supply, electricity supply, so you have the same rates when you moved in. Do an assessment and insist they do that. Second, make sure that they pay enough taxes that pays all of your taxes, or maybe buys you universal health care. That's how you fight it, by using the power that it's creating. And it will solve the fusion energy, and it's already solving many of the problems. In fact, already the water requirements, because you're using chemicals instead of actual water, is already half what it was expected to be. And whoever tells you it costs you a bottle of water for a chat is bullshit. They're lying to you. Look it up, find Claude and ask it for the facts. Don't go out half-cocked. Don't believe in the bullshit you see on social media, because that's bullshit. This is the truth, and this is where we're getting to. You just got to help us get there, right? So here's what this device does. So your Oura Ring, your Hume Scale, your MyFitnessPal, Apple, everything. So this is my students and I did all of this front part stuff here. And then this is what it gets in. Your DNA comes in, it gets sequenced. Guess what you could do right now? You could sequence your DNA for about $150. It used to cost $10,000. It's $150. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to go down to Tijuana right after my vacation and go to a health clinic that's going to do that for me. Then I'm going to have all my medical records throughout my entire life, and my dental records, by the way. And then I'm going to put that in a device. Then my real-time data. So I'm getting implanted with a, I forget that there's 2 different devices, but it's a little pill that goes inside your arm or your back if you want to. And it's a patch that looks like a large Band-Aid. And you have 24 hours access to full-time, real-time information. I never got to prick my finger again. And I found out the Libra, the Libra, maybe you could look this up. There's Libra and there's another one that you can basically, then you stream all that constant data in, or my phone will get an alert. Hey, you shouldn't eat that cake, buddy. And it would actually stop me and say, don't eat that cake before I do it. And I'm going to show you how. So then all your medication supplements goes in, and then you get all this data. There's the patch right there. It's called, Peloton has a thing, MyFitnessPal, Function Health. And that patch is the one you see there. And it's getting smaller. And it's going to be eventually a pill that sits in your arm and constantly measures your glucose. All right. So your data would be on this home device that looks identical to your Google Home or your Alexa. And on there will be a hard drive separate that is completely your information, everything you put in there. And when you go, you print out a report for your patient summary. And it's locked down. Now, what I want in the future to see is this. Your son's unconscious. AMT comes up. It finds the chip or whatever, gets access to your home thing. It knows everything about his day, what he ate that day, where he went. And it contacts automatically with the AI, the parents, and says, we're en route to this hospital. He's in good condition. And it shares a summary with them. Okay. So now, if you have a pendant, and what I'm about to blow your mind, take a look at what we did with AI. So if you're a graphic design instructor out there, I defy you in 10,000 hours of student use to create what you're about to see. Literally everybody full on got to use AI to do nothing but advance the human in all of us. So this is what students in their second year of graphic design program can do. All right, so we get all this stuff going in. Our devices keep track of it. And here is, sorry about that. I just realized. Oh no, can't stop that thing. Hang on just a second. I got to stop that and go back in here. So it wasn't supposed to play that music, and I've got to figure out what's going on here. So that was supposed to be Liv. That's our onboard AI in our software. Let me see if I can play just that here. And tell me if you can hear it. So that literally is an AI bot that we are putting in the application. So we might want to vibe code this weekend, right? Got life, live it. Got time, live it. Got a dream, live it. Got peace, live it. Okay, so here. Okay, so this is where it would sit. That's what it would look like. When you're talking to it directly, you could do a search using Live. So right there, you just ask the question and it will give back information, right? Based upon all your device and the aggregate thing. So I'm going to my doctor. Hey, Liv, can you print out a sheet for me to take? You go to your printer, take it in with you, right? And it has learn, tracking, which is the aggregate of your entire family, and planning and actions, okay? So planning is, what do I need to buy for my cat and dog and the entire household that keeps them all healthy? It then generates, well, you'll see it. So as you're out there collecting information, this is what the input looks like. Everything you eat will be coming in, and then you become your health CEO. No one knows your body like you do. Your doctor sees you for 15 minutes and a few times a year. You live in your body 24/7. LifeForce provides the data and insights to transform your role from reactive patient to proactive director of your health and longevity. From confused to clear, you walk in, you ask a question, you already know what the answers are. So if you have a 24/7 Live that lives on your device, your phone, and it has all the answers because it's a custom-built large language model made by Google, I would hope, and DeepMind would make it in my dreams. So if you know anybody at DeepMind, I know one person at Google, and I'm presenting to him next week. And this is what I'm going to show him. So Brandon, we're going to edit this down to just this hour. And this is what I'm going to take to my friend at Google. And I promise you, If he sees that this can be what Google does for all humanity, he will stop everything. And my only ask is I want to meet Dennis Hassabis, Sir Dennis Hassabis, and meet him in person and see if we can change the world. Oh, God. So this is what I was put on Earth for. This is it. So your device is it hasn't come out yet, but the same person the designer who developed all the products is now working at ChatGPT on devices. So I said to my students, what do you think that device is going to look like? So there I am with my supplements, and there I am with my exercise program. So there's the device and what it would kind of look like. That's a generic kind of thing. 8 terabytes is more than enough to have all that data on there and keep it in safe. And then you could put it to a secure cloud once we really have one of those. But you don't want it getting out. But you do want it to stream to the people that are in charge of your urgent care if you're not able to. Pendant, always on, always doing things like taking pictures and telling you what. And then you basically load everything in. So LifeForce 1, live it. So then ambient sensor captures context, conversations. You've seen the glasses. This is a good way to use them. You just point your face, right? If you don't wear glasses, the pendant comes in. And then they have a digital twin of everything about you. If you go to a doctor and you're in emergency care like I was, they'll load up all the information, saw what I did, which is stay up too late, to eat too much sugar. That's what caused the crash. If I had just done the medicine, which is problematic for sure, I have to also go home and behave myself. So I'm eating no sugar for the rest of my life. And I'm reducing the amount that's in food, obviously. That privileges me. And I'm taking off that medicine that was literally the perfect storm of side effects that would kill you. So if they have that kind of information and they load it up with what they understand about things, imagine what they can do. So even if you want to try out for the Olympics, it's going to make a plan for you. And this is what it looks like. So we're going to go through each phase. So this was the rough draft that I did before I gave this to my students. So this is what my students are working on. And this is what it's going to output. Health includes nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness. And it makes goals for all. You tell it, I'm going to yoga class, show me 3 new poses, etc. And then it makes a complete online. Instead of printing and download all the food, you go through the list, what it suggests for each family member, them each putting in what they want. At the bottom, it's now an order to Amazon and to whatever services, and your cat and dog, Petco, right? It orders it, it's delivered to your house. Then it has a meal planner, and that's what you give to the doctor. So it's going to give you how to make the food after it ordered it for you. And then for your son, Leo here, I suggested that it give him, he was trying out for the track team. He wanted exercise, and he knew he had to get a plan from his doctor that okayed him to be cleared to do this, right? And there's your food every day. And each family member goes in there. So this is what we want to do. We want this organization to create on YouTube. That's why Google's perfect, to find 4 people who are foundationally the best, most popular people on the internet. And we did that using ChatGPT. These are the 4 people you're going to see every week doing a broadcast, updating you on the latest in news. So it's a news program with these 4 people that's then put on YouTube. Guess what else is going to do? We're going to take curated information. So we found someone's got a great thing. Google is going to go search for the best information on meal planning for $6, all these things, right? Women, men and their problems. As you see on the left, we made a little sidecar that pops out. You said, who am I working for? So if you're the mom, Lisa, and I used Lisa and Rick just because, and Bella and Max and Jacob and Gloria, and Bailey and I forget the last one. I think it was Shadow. Oh, Luna was the cat's name. They picked it. So these are people that are experts. So that's always there, always on. And in your app, you go to a special YouTube for LifeForce experts, and then you curate, okay, I want to find out about nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness. You go to that tab, and then we curate the best of the day. And then they get extra exposure, and Google gets to solve the world's problems. So we've thought this through. This is 20 minds, starting off with my own, to give us the next step. So calendars, communication. So you see at the bottom, we is basically a list of, so I'm working on the behalf. So this pops out. If she were just checking for herself, it would only put in the calendar things she had to do, right? And this, she's doing it for the family as the leader of the family with all of these. So doctor's appointments, so your calendar is there depending on who you're doing it for. And then you can ask questions. So it's a chat bot between all your family members. You can say, I've got to have a upcoming visit to do certain things. So that's all the we. This is more of the we. So those are the documents, the saved videos, so you can watch them later. And then we have the results you've gotten from what you've done. Then we have a life meter. So let's say that gives you a plan to walk with your dog every night for 1 hour after dinner, right? And if you go do it, it tells you how much time and life for both your dog and you and your wife if you were to do it. And it shows you how effectively, because it's got your Fitbit, it's got your walk cycle, it's got your calorie counter, all built in. It will tell you you saved 6 months off your life. You've extended your life healthfully 6 more months. So then you're in this contest against yourself. How many more hours can I save? What can I do? Right? That's motivation. That's the problem was missing with me. I didn't know I was dying, but staying up to 4 o'clock in the morning, as thank you, Dr. Claire, constantly reminded me, very softly, by the way. She has a great bedside manner. She just said, go to sleep, will you please? We want you to have you around. That's how she said it to me. Words make a difference. If you feel seen and you truly feel cared about, which is what Claire did, and this is what I'll suggest to all human beings, use AI for this beautiful good, and then use yourself as a human being to say kind things to everybody you encounter. I went through McDonald's, and this woman, unlike what I usually got, had a beautiful smile, talked to me beautifully, and I went up and I said, you just added years to my life, because when people are happy, when they see someone else happy and joyful, no matter what they do in the world, you are the embodiment of the angel that came across my day to day. And I smiled at her and said, thank you for being a lifesaver. And she went back and she told everybody else. I thought about giving her $20 and doing that every time, because, if it costs $20 to make the world change, then I'm there. So if you do a kindness for me, I thought about saying that I'm going to come through every week. And so that everybody at the thing will be waiting for $20, right? And can you imagine like something simple like that? I thought about vibe coding a thank you card. And Brandon, if you want to take this idea and run with it, the idea of the thank you card is a card where you could put $20 in it, hand it to someone who's nice to you, and it's already pre-filled out. It says, this is a note. The top note says, this is a note to your boss. Go to your boss and say, this person was so kind to me. They made me want to come back to your business again and again and again. The second note is to you. It's private. You could take one piece out, give it to your boss. It's got $20 in it. And it says, what a beautiful experience you were to me, to added time and love. And I want to make sure everybody knows to pass it on and pass it forward. Because really, truly being seen, being human, having a community surrounded by you that believes in you, that believes in your mission, like my 9, now 10 Rocketeers. I want to name Brandon the producer and the lovable producer on top, because he's a lovable ambassador and he's a lovable human being. I did that specifically because I want to know Brandon is seen, even though you demonstrated on the show that I love that man. I truly do. He's making, time for me, and there's no other thing but time. Okay, so let's go further. And then you go into the planning. So it says, hey, Lisa, what can you do for me today? I need help planning my day, week, and everything else. So I got 4 areas. So here is the information, weekly health routine. And then on the right is planning for the son, who's going to try out for the track. And he needs a participation exam so he can go there to a doctor and get it done quickly. And then activities for each person. And then Bella's mindfulness. So he's following the daughter to make sure she's doing what she's supposed to do so she can get access to everything. So whoever you are, there's a meal plan. There's an activity with a picture you could print on your wall or just look at your phone. What do I do next? Right? And then it can get into even details and be a vocal coach to you. You need to do 3 more stretches. Don't forget to warm down as you're driving. And it's off your phone as you talk to it, right? Because this is a phone app too. And then generate the plan. So then you All right, that's the number one question. So we want to increase longevity. So here's the 4 color palettes, and this is what it would look like in the real world. So you come in with your Fitbit, your LifeForce 1 on your device. You're making your food on your your Google Home device, where it has the recipes, and also you can place your order. You're doing a marathon. So guess what this next thing is? This is the Super Bowl ad. This woman found out she had added years to her life. She's 90 years old. You'll see the commercial in a second. I'm old enough to know better. So she met her boyfriend, age 85, because he said, "You look so beautiful and young," and they got married. Then they together ran the Boston Marathon. And there's a true story. 83-year-old woman won the Boston Marathon in her senior category. So if you got life, live it. So here's our commercial.
A golden horizon. Just like every single morning of their extraordinary lives. How do they do it? They walk their dog every evening. They track every meal, every step, every heartbeat. The DNA told them what their body needed, and they listened. Got life, live it. Got time, live it. Got a dream, go and live it. Her glucose, optimized. His lab results, champion. Their life meter, rising. Rising, rising, rising. Live it. Live it. Live it.
There you go. Now that's me and the students working together, and I'll have to get his name, and I'm going to put that in here. So this is someone who's trying to get better at fitness. Let's optimize you. This is someone who wants to live longer and better. LifeForce 1, live it. And there's someone who's trying to get their metabolic age down, type 2 diabetes with a prison. Now Live acts as a personalized nutrition protocol based on real-time glucose data. That's me, baby. And then, of course, they had to look at all the human years. So this is the dog years that you gain by going on this week-long process, according to what Live It suggested for you, what LifeForce 1 did. You're a life force. Let's make it more forceful and make it work for everybody. And this is in the doctor's office, and I love this. This is the commercial. You know, the most interesting man in the world? So this is the most interesting patient. He doesn't just go to the doctor. His doctor calls him for advice, right? Now, you can imagine this guy, gorgeous as hell, right? And that this is generated in ChatGPT. Well, I did Gemini for all this because ChatGPT didn't get that good back then. This is last year. And the most interesting man becomes perfectly positioned in waiting rooms to transform nervous patients into proactive architects of their longevity. Then shoes. So I said product design. These shoes light up. They have inclination, declination, your foot stride, everything else. So it gives you an analysis of how far you went and what you could do to improve your stride. So it knows everything about you. And it lights up by your stepping, generating electricity so you can be seen if you're running at night. Holy crap. And there's a jacket to go with it. There's a beautiful bag you take to the gym. And it's got all the information built into it, including maybe a charger for your phone. And then this is the hat. Underneath the brim, only you see it. Got a dream, and you wear it. And Live It is on the back. So got a dream, live it. So that's the back band, and there's the inside of the brim. We're going to go further. Here's a journaling guide for actually writing down things. Here is a blender that you turn upside down. You put the one top in there, and it blends whatever you got. Hot, cold drinks together, You can go over to your coffee machine maker or whatever you got, fill it up, and then it keeps it hot and cold because it's insulated. You put the other tap on top and you drink out of it. Holy crap. And then fuel your meter, LifeForce 1, and it's got time, live it. I would change the typography of that. But I mean, we did this in one semester, right? And I'm going to go back and do it again and perfect this down to everything. So there's the t-shirts. Here is our dream to get them to wear one. Serena and her sister, right? And there's me. And my goal is to run in the Chicago Marathon where my son lives. So I'm starting that now. And I'm going to get these printed and give them to all the participants in my class that made this complete. In fact, I didn't see this until I went back in there because they have access to complete things they didn't quite get finished in class. This, I just went into today and I almost broke down because they put my face on this. And that got me to say, right now, I'm going to do this, damn it. I'm going to run a marathon. I'm 66 years old, and damn it, if a woman 83 can do it, and I'm in decent shape, and now I know what to fix about myself, and I got a wedding ring on in the picture. I want to tell you something that's really weird. Every time I look at the generated pictures by any of the large language models, the men are all married, and so are the women. They always have a gold band. And I didn't know what that was about, but if you want to treat someone with respect, you put in a little Easter egg, and I just found it there. And I imagine that when I am wearing a marathon, I'll find the love of my life, not mouth. These teeth are too long. I got to be filed down. So there I am doing it. There's a kid in Japan. There's a book. This is a healthy longevity wellness guidebook and also a paper version. I love to take all my best ideas and I journal at the end of each night with a pen, with a pencil and paper, and I sketch out my ideas for the next day. So I go to bed with a promise to myself, I'm going to get these things done tomorrow with the words that I came up with today that then add value to myself every day. I am a self-recursive, improving human being. Let me say that one more time because that's a new tagline I just realized. A self-recursive, agentic human being that is born every day to make my bed, say 5 things I'm going to do to make the world better, go do my chores, which would be 8 hours of work or 4 hours of work or whatever you do, and come home and then make sure all 5 things I did were done. And I'll get back in my bed as a show of respect to myself that I made it that morning, and then I'll do the same thing every single day of the rest of my life. If all of us thought about how we could be a better version of ourselves every day, just like large language models are teaching themselves how to do it, inside of each and every one is the engine to do it. We just have to engage it and think of it as our life's mission. Your gift to the world is to do that every day, to be a gift of yourself, to be the hero of the day because you did those 5 kindnesses. It could mean helping somebody out with their groceries to their car, telling that woman in the McDonald's drive-thru that she had a beautiful smile and it made your day. These thank you cards that you can deliver in such small ways, for me, is to give the gift of education, to find out who was great at video editing in my class and give them the task to make that video that you just saw. I gave them still pictures, and that's the story they came up with. I helped them, certainly, guiding like Gandalf would, but I stood back and I was amazed. So let's keep going. This is going to have to go a little bit faster because I'm going to run out of time for sure. But this is the whole ecosystem, right? There's the logo that was fixed after a couple different iterations we had to do to get it right. And these are all the surfaces it would be put on. Now, I asked them to 3D print some of these devices, so I'm going to wait until the next semester. We weren't able to do all of them. So this is our glasses, and it's what all of it has in there. And this is what we basically, I said, take all the devices that are in the world today and reimagine them. Imagine wearing that ring instead of your Aura ring, and it's got bling on it. It's an Aura ring with bling. And then you can have different surfaces like you do your watch, and you can pop them on and off, right? That'd be cool. And then here's a hat that has a cooling, and it also takes your temperature. It also checks hydration because in the band is a constant meter to see how much you're sweating. And then it uses that information with a built-in battery that powered by your shoes potentially as you're running to keep a constant feedback loop during the entire thing and say, hey, you're not hydrating fast enough. Take a drink, buddy. and on your backpack, which you'll see in a minute. So here's the Hume band, but an upscaled version. And what does it do? It does all these things. Now, I just bought the Hume band, Hume. It's $247 online. It lasts for 14 days on one charge. You wear it, and there's just like the scale I'm going to show you in a minute. It does all those things and a lot more. It's getting better with every version. So buy a Hume Smart Scale or buy the knockoff version. That's fine. I bought the branded one because my doctor has told me these things. So I'm listening to my doctor, and here's, this is a pendant around your neck or it's a bracelet. What does it do? It looks at your food and whatever you point it at. So, and then you can turn it off so that you're not, people aren't being recorded. And that's the glass hole theory, right? They physically have a slide that locks over it, so you can't do it. What people have been doing is going and taking out the sensor that doesn't flash anymore. And you can hack it. You can go for 20 minutes and $100 and get that done. So we want a physical lockable sensor so you see that the line is over the looking device. And if it's pointed down, it's around your neck, you point at your food. What is this and what's it going to do for me? So here's basically everything in one, and it's a pendant form. And you can see these are ideas by my students. And what they did is they went into Perplexity and said, find me all the best tools out there, top of each one. Tell me what they have and tell me what we could add to it. And then they rendered them out. So there's a beautiful watch. Obviously, it's not big enough for that man's wearing, but there's a beautiful watch that you would pay thousands of dollars for. That's made of solid gold. You could bling it out, and all the different versions, right? And then your dog. So as we talked about earlier, we can't find our cat. So if the cat was wearing this, wherever she is in the world, she can check from Brazil. Oh, he's at his vacation spot. No problem. So Shadow's over there. So when I get home, I got to go there first and then come home and bring him with me. And we know the neighbors whose backyard they're in. So they said, go on in the backyard, get your dog. And they gave us permission. So that was great today. Behavior or vitality alerts. There's actually a bowl that looks at your dog and tells you exactly the health of your dog. Right now, that exists. And they have a collar that speaks what dog is asking for and what cat is asking for. So yeah, they're part of your family. I know people do, as I'm sure Brandon does. All the animals in his life are family, and they want to take care of them to the best of their ability. Who doesn't want a healthier, happier pet? And there's the shoes branded by Nike with a hydration sensor built into them because you sweat through your feet. If you're not sweating, you got a problem, right? And then there's the backpack for going out. So there's a camel background that starts off frozen, and during the day, it gets to the point where you're out walking and hiking, and as soon as you get to the point, your body temperature is heated up. The frozen pack that you put in the refrigerator overnight, slap it in there, it then dehydrates, and then it empties, taking a couple of pounds off your back that you've been carrying around. And then you've got water bottles, you've got synchronous things, you've got terrain health, you've got your packs and everything, and your boots are also strapped up with sensors. And then you have satellite locations, so you know where you are 24/7. Apple is releasing, and this is official now, they're going to tap in, so all Apple phones are satellite phones for texting and for location data only at the beginning. You could pay for it to be fully satellite enabled, which means that you could talk anywhere you are. Like when I was in Death Valley and couldn't get them to unlock their phone because Apple right now is just a text to certain people. This will open it up by the end of this year. So expect by September, October, November. I think it's September, usually when the new phones are going to come out. So imagine this world. And then you have the device that, your grandmother is in the other room and she's go check on her because there's a fall detection, right? So this is the device that's on your SOS, on your alerts on your phone currently, right? And so your entire family network is part of this network. And since your family, all of your data that's on there is shared between all of you securely and privately. And then everybody's got to do. So this is a social media campaign. So these are influencers, and I'm going to go through this quickly. So what you do for a social media campaign is each and every day you have a theme you're going to do. So they assign the theme, and then they said what they're going to be putting up there every day. So it'll be an influencer, and here's you go. This is what it would look like as TikTok.
Welcome to day one of LifeForce One. Today is all about health and setting the tone for the week. Tune in from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. EST.
Okay, so that's what it looks like. So they made that to show what it looked like. There's our experts. And then we have so that you can watch. You see the experts are at the top. They're every week. It's like a TV show. You go watch all 4 if you want to. And you've got an hour's worth of, so they do like 30 minutes a week, just like Sanjay Gupta does on CNN. But they get that brilliance and they think about the topical things of the day. Maybe it's improvement to LifeForce One. So they're hired by Google to do this. Then Google goes searching for the best, most things in every category: health, nutrition, exercise, and mindfulness. Those are the 4 categories that LifeForce Run offers to amplify and increase your longevity based upon. So that means they're going to be surfacing and putting up there and driving through the roof the profits that people will actually make videos to try to make it on this YouTube channel, the LifeForce One Experts channel, and then be part of the curated division. This is a phone that app has been created, and that's it. So, I made it just under the bar, didn't I? What a wonderful thing. So what do you think, Brandon? We got something here? Brandon's not there.
I am here.
What do you think?
It's amazing.
Yeah,
it is. I love that Super Bowl commercial too.
Yeah, right. And there was a couple things. The resolution of the graphics at the bottom, and so when you guys did yours in the hackathon that we did for the first Upskill USA, I took that to the class and I said I want to make it like this. And I did that's where I learned. Actually, this was before the one we did. That's how I knew how to go to Suno to get this to happen. So we want to cut that up, and it's going to be directed at Google. And I'm going to call everybody that knows anybody at Google and say, just watch this. And I got 1 hour. That's my show reel. So we're going to make a show reel for all 10 rocket ships. And that's why I wanted you and Oscar to get together to try to make one in our style. I think what we tried to do the first time we did it is we got too much of the music and power. Even that's a little bit over, and just tone it down a little bit and have it fact-based. So the information that we're giving to the person by watching a 3-minute video is, so I have a 3-minute video for Abracadabra for all of these, and then I go seeking funding for all of them. That's when NSU gets involved and we start to go to stage 5, and then it's launch, baby. Launch, baby. That's it, right?
Sounds good. All right. So, until next time, keep it locked.
Love
keep
to
it
you
real.
all.
Namaste.
Namaste, and love to you all. Make it a more beautiful world. One day at a time. One time at
Pacific Northwest. What? I said next week you'll be live from somewhere in the Pacific Northwest.
California. California, 3 parts.
Sounds good.
See you guys.
Take
be
care,
kind
everyone.
to yourself and be beautiful for everybody else. You're angels.
Ask not what I can do for you, but what you can do with AI. We're the dangerous people who get stuff done. And show you can too. Imagine a beautiful world. With you, we can make it come true. Welcome to AI TV Starship. I'm the AI guy. Rick McCauley launching news so fresh.